Hey, it's Dave Brown here, host of Now with Dave Brown on AMI. Check out this latest highlight from the show.
The Huron Carole is celebrating its 36th anniversary. The benefit concert graced the stages of the Rebecca Cohn Auditorium in Halifax a couple weeks ago. Now, it's set to captivate audiences once more through a series of special presentations on APTN. Tom Jackson is the founder and host of the Huron Carole, and through this benefit, he has raised over $250 million for various humanitarian causes. He is a renowned musician, actor, and activist, and he joins in now. Welcome to the show, Tom. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me, Alex. It's nice to be here.
So first off, I want to congratulate you on 36 years of this benefit concert. Who did you bring on stage with you when you had the concert this year in Halifax?
I've got my good friend Shannon Gay, Natalie. I know all of these folks. So when I say my good friend, you can just put that in front of the names. But Shannon Gay, Natalie McMaster, Beverly Mahood, Andrea Menard, Bilk Silk, Misha Burger-Gozman Lee, Lorena McKennett, the Halifax Camerata Singers, and members from the Sullivan's Crossing cast, namely Scott Peterson, Morgan Cohan, and Chad Michael Murray.
Oh, that's phenomenal. Now, the Huron Carole is actually based off of Canada's oldest Christmas carol, which shares the same name. So how has the benefit concert evolved over the past 3 decades?
Well, it's been quite the journey. This project started in Toronto. I had a different part of my life then. I was living in a hole in the ground when I was 38 years old. And I was the architect of my own demise, you might say. And one night I had a visitor, and the visitor came to me and said, "You know what, Tom, I'm going to send you an angel that's worse off than you. And if you help that angel, I'm going to help you." And I said, "Well, how would I know this angel is going to have wings?" And he said, "No." But I decided to take the challenge. And when I went looking for the angel, I realized that there were a lot of angels out there that were worse off than me. And that basically brought me here to you. But on that first year, I went to Council Fire, which was an organization downtown Toronto, and still exists. And they had a shortage of hampers the year before. And I said, "How many?" And they said, "About 300. And they said, "You know, why don't we see if we can buy the hampers, buy the food?" And so I called a number of my friends, and we put on this concert because we were in the territory of Huronia. We called it the Huron Carole. And it was originally in an old bar, which was called the Buck, Silver Dollar. But they opened up the Buck for us, and I called my friends, and we did a show. Now, we didn't raise that much money at that first show, but what did happen was people like you got a hold of the story and thought it was worth talking about. And it caught wind in the city. And the next day after the show, I went to Council Fire, and there was cars and trucks full of food for Council Fire for about a mile. They called them miles back then. But that's how it started. And it continued and evolved, and I ran into organizations, food banks and the like, that needed help. And so it kept evolving, and over the 36 years, as you mentioned, it's raised a significant amount of money for those who are in need.
Yeah, it's so phenomenal. And so for this year's benefit concert, you chose to support the Canadian Red Cross. Why were they chosen to partner with and support this year?
I've been an ambassador for the Canadian Red Cross for a decade. And this year, there's been all sorts of challenges with water, wind, and fire across the country, First Nation communities. And the Red Cross is always there up front, and it's always there at the back. So they're there before, they're there afterwards. And I applaud them and I champion them as much as I can. And this year, because we're out on the East Coast, there was so many tragic events that happened out here this year. I thought to myself, well, maybe we can do something while we're here. And that's why it ended up here in Halifax.
And so can you tell me a bit more of what those donations are going to be going towards within when folks are encouraged to donate to the Canadian Red Cross?
Well, the Red Cross services First Nations right across the country. So this isn't just for the Mi'kmaq, who are the traditional people here. It's not just for these folks. It's people for across the country, like Yellowknife and Hay River and places like that, and Fort Mac and into BC. And this show represents and covers the country from the Yukon, Northwest Territories, goes into BC, goes into the prairies and Ontario and Quebec, and ends up landing in the Maritimes here.
Tom, thank you so much for coming on and telling us a bit more about the Huron Carole. I'm excited to check it out when it airs on APTN. Have yourself a wonderful day.
Thank you. You too. Have an awesome day.
That is Tom Jackson, who is the founder and host of the Huron Carole. As mentioned, the concert will air on December 14th at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, and there will be encore presentations over through the holiday season, so you can also stream it on APTN Lumi for December 14th and onwards. So to learn more about how to donate to the Canadian Red Cross, you can visit huroncarole.ca. And just so you know, Carole is spelled C-A-R-O-L-E. C-A-R-O-L-E.
Do you want to dive into more conversations like this? Watch Now with Dave Brown weekdays at 9 a.m. Eastern on AMI-TV or download the podcasts wherever you listen. Do you want to dive into more conversations like this? Watch Now with Dave Brown weekdays at 9 a.m. Eastern on AMI-TV or download the podcasts wherever you listen.